good evening and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League. I hope you haven't missed us too much, as we've only got the one evening session for you on Saturday, but it is a very important one. It is the finals for week 2 in the Online Darts Live League. So welcome along to our coverage as we have 5 players for you tonight, and each and every player will play 4 matches to see how many points they can get. And if they can amass enough, they may just join Scott Marsh in winning a weekly title. It all comes down to this, and it's time for the likes of Chaz, Barstow, Barrie Bates, Paul Hogan and Adrian Gray, as well as Robert Thornton, to have one last stint on the dartboard for this week.
60.
And it's the first time we've seen the Cardiff City blue of Barrie Bates since Monday.
140.
I honestly thought that after the way he played on Monday, wearing the blue, that maybe he was retiring that shirt because it wasn't a good day. But since then, he has improved day on day.
100.
He didn't get through Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. He battled through Group B with Adrian Gray, and via second spot got his place in tonight's final stage. Each match is best of 7 legs.
57.
So first of 4, 501, straight start. Bullseye and doubles to finish, of course. Usual rules apply.
180.
As we see our first 180 come from Barrie Bates.
134.
Puts himself in a strong position to take the first leg, but Chaz Barstow has done well to leave himself handily placed if this does not get hit.
60.
One of the favourites for tonight's title, Chaz Barstow, and has a shot at tops.
50.
And misses out to give Barrie a chance at 56 to defend early. Tops.
Yeah.
And Barrie Bates makes no mistake to get his 17 dart hold to start our evening. I am Paul the Asset Nicholson. It's been my privilege to bring you everything this week, and I will guide you through the rest of tonight's finals. So like I said, early hold for Barrie, and an early warning for Chaz that Barrie has come to play.
180.
First 180 of the night for Chaz Barstow, and that is his 22nd of the last 3 days. He came through Group C in first position.
83.
Played 8 matches, only lost the 1.
134.
And that was to one of our other finalists, Paul Hogan. His leg difference in his group was very healthy at plus 19.
81.
He had a high out of 120. Like I say, 21 180s leading into tonight, so he's got 22 now.
99.
And his best average of the week came at the end of Thursday's session in beating Joe Davis by 4 legs to 0 with 101.9. Can he better that tonight? Double 14. And doesn't find double 7 either after missing double 14 on the inside. Barrie can't get to a finish, so Chaz, who plays the game very quickly, decides not to split it, and he's left scratching his head. He can split it here and come back with the next visit if he chooses, and I think that's a wise choice. He was precariously close to busting the score there and hitting the 13. But I think that was a very sensible play there from Chaz. Double 4. And doesn't get there. To my surprise, and I'm sure to everybody tuning in as well, as Barrie Bates goes for tops. And can't reach the top to somehow find a 2-0 lead. Chaz seeing the funny side of this, but he's not laughing in the madhouse. And he's let this leg go. It could have been an 11 darter, and he has missed 9 darts at a double since, as Barrie Bates takes a very surprising 2-0 lead in this one. And I think a lot of people thought that Chaz Barstow was the favourite to take the title tonight, but he's having an early setback here. Obviously, Barrie is not superstitious about the blue shirt. He just needed to get some legs and, of course, some games under his belt. He has played more games this week than anybody. Came through 3 days of Group A action without success and was then thrust into Group B, where he played a further 10 matches to the 15 he'd already played.
1, 3, 4.
So this is his 26th game of darts this week.
Uh, 80.
He has won 11 matches so far. His leg difference for the week in both groups is plus 18, which is irrelevant. But just to give you a guide of where he's been at. He's got a high out of 161. So of everybody in this field,
57.
he has the highest finishes. And I'm talking finishes, plural, because he has 160 as well. And he has the most ton plus checkouts of anybody in this field as well. He has 8 of them. The next challenger has 3. So he's absolutely blitzed that statistic. Bosto is looking to correct what went wrong in leg 2. And again, it's a missed dart at double. And he's 0 out of 13 at doubles. And it's the most frustrated I've seen Chaz all week long. Double 10. All is forgiven as he finally finds a double and halves the deficit, as this one is 3 legs in and Barrie Bates has a 2-1 lead. It's a valuable break of throw as well. We're back on the throw. But if we can't separate someone at the top from another on points, of course we will go to leg difference. If we then cannot separate them on leg difference, as they have the same as someone else, or potentially more players than one, and we will look at the head-to-head as Barstow finds a second maximum, number 23 of the week. So he's hit the Jordan, and he's also hit the front in that statistic. With 2 maximums in this match, he is now the biggest 180 hitter of the week. Robert Thornton, who has played 7 more matches than Chaz, was on 22. And we will see Robert Thornton for the first time in match 3 against Barrie.
60.
That's unfortunate. Those heavy barrels
80.
sometimes can get in the way, but the last dart was very, very good from a different angle. Just to get to this final, you have to pay Barrie Bates a lot of credit. He was down and out early in this week, but he has grafted like the tenacious player he is. And is very much alive to take the weekly title.
60.
Chaz is looking to equalise here. Double top. And another missed dart at double. He's not missing by much. But the doubles percentage is exceptionally low. Barrie's not low on the dart, but he is wide. And he doesn't find a chance to take the 96 to get within one of the match. Double 10 for Chaz. Still missing.
Game in 3.
But finds double 10. It seems like he's got his range on that one eventually. And he's not playing his best stuff by any means in this match, but he is 2-all and still has a chance to pick up the 2 points, as does Barrie, as we are level after 4. Barrie's doubles this week, in my opinion, have saved his bacon. He is 66% for his doubles in this match, Barrie Bates. Chaz Barstow is down at 10%. That's as low as he's been all week long. I say all week, he's only played for the last couple of nights because he was involved in Group C, which was the night session on Thursday and the night session last night. If you weren't tuning in the last couple of nights, where have you been?
81.
You missed Richie Burnett playing against Colin Monk, Hogan and Barstow and Joe Davis, who also had a very steady week.
180.
And a third 180 from Chaz Barstow. And that's pretty much how many 180s he's averaging per game this week. 3. That's very impressive considering each match is only best of 7 legs. Double 7 again, and he had a bit of trouble down there earlier and decided to split it. I think he may regret that decision, but now he's taken it, and he has taken the lead as well after being 2-0 down. Best leg of the contest there from Chaz. And maybe he's one of those players who is able to forget what's happened before and just move on. We have, over the last couple of days, talked about Chaz's great start to the season. He is
85.
the best player not to have got a tour card at UKQ school. Of course, he was one place out and was
140.
stopped from getting onto the tour by that miraculous last day run by Danny Baggish. But the fact that he didn't get a card means that he could play here, as well as be an alternate for the PDC Tour. So maybe he's going to be the most fortunate player this year because he's got lots of choices of where to play it. And with great results so far this season, I don't think anybody's going to take for granted that they're going to get the win against Chaz. With the doubles percentage down at 15%, he could still average in the high 80s here with a 4-2 win. And Barrie just hasn't been able to live with Chaz on the treble 20. That's the tail of this tape, really. As Chaz looks to finish things off on tops and misses a first match dart to complete leg 6 in 15. Bit of work for him to do to finish this off, and maybe a bit of work for him to do in the practice room to get ready for his next match, which is against Paul Hogan. Double 10 again, and he pushes the wire inside. It would be typical Barrie Bates if he got his 9th ton plus checkout here of the week, but he's not going to do so. 76 left.
44.
Can Chaz finish him off? Getting there. And just about gets there in the end. You just see from the expression of Chaz Barstow at the end of that one, as he gets his first 2 points of the night, that he ambled over the line, but the doubles percentage in the end was around 12.5%. He will have to improve that if he stands a chance of winning the title tonight. But we'll go into Paul Hogan against Adrian Gray here. Should be a fascinating match in match 2. there as we go into match 2 of 10 this evening. As Adrian Gray of East Sussex on the south coast of England will now take on Paul Hogan, who represents Berkshire usually, but has represented the county of Hampshire in the past in his illustrious amateur career. Paul Hogan came through Group C with Chaz Barstow. Chaz won that group. Paul came second. Adrian won his group in Group B. Great start from Paul Hogan, who this week has a best average of 89. Now, we do know that Paul Hogan can do more than that. We know that he works full time, and the last couple of nights has performed after a shift. Well, he hasn't worked today, and maybe he's had a bit more time to rest, and he might feel a bit sharper.
140.
That is the word, and I think a rested, sharp Paul Hogan is a very dangerous one. Came through with 10 points, winning 5 matches out of 8 in Group C. Won all 4 of his matches on Thursday, but had a
60.
worse night last night. He was quite frustrated with his performances, but ultimately got 2 more points to add to his total, which was enough to get him through to this stage.
87.
The 180 count for the week sees Paul Hogan at the bottom of the ladder. Only 3 from him, but he's not noted as a huge 180 hitter. But he is noted as a very good player on double 18, which he has left after 12 darts here. Early problems for Adrian Gray.
60.
When he hit his 9-darter 4 years ago in the British Internationals, it was this double that he finished on, and he has hit it with the first dart this time. Early evidence that Paul Hogan is a little bit more rested and sharper today. Could he be the person to take the title tonight? We shall see. Only one more player to have their first match after this one. That will be Robert Thornton, who a lot of people fancy to take this title tonight. We've got some of our regular viewers chirping on Twitter, likes of Amy from the States, Stuart Munger, who we believe is a very good friend of Chaz Barstow, who's had a very solid start to his evening, picking up his first 2 points. And someone called Pike One asking
58.
what the dart players are playing for this week in earnings. Well, they're playing for a title. That's what they're playing for. They're playing to win.
97.
That's all you need to know. That's all they want is to win. There's that famous line in the movie Jerry Maguire, isn't there? When he's talking to Rod Tidwell. I think back when you started playing for the love of the game, it wasn't about the money, was it? Was it? Was it? You don't get into darts for the money.
59.
You get into darts because you love the game. Adrian sets up 170 perfectly and could potentially take 309 in 6. Oh, you do not get much closer than that to a 170 without hitting it. An absolutely terminating try from the man they call the Conqueror from Hastings in East Sussex. It's a good job he missed that treble 9.
Yeah, well done.
He pulls the dart to the left. With Hogan on 172, it is a good thing to miss, I think, on the left-hand side rather than inside.
120.
With the way his darts sit in the board, they're very flat. It is double four now, though.
Yeah,
And he
one,
doesn't miss this time. It is a 17 dart hold of throw there for Adrian Gray as he equalises in this one. It is best of 7 still, remember. And it is 1-1 as we go into leg 3. Adrian's top average of the week, just a shade under 91.
80.
We know that the likes of Hogan and Adie Gray can perform better than what they have this week, but the whole crux of playing this time of year post Q school and without a card is trying to play competitive games and putting a game together and getting confidence from somewhere. They're very much appreciative of getting this opportunity to try and put something together and possibly get the chance to come back at some point. Just because you played 1 week in the Online Darts Live League doesn't mean you won't get an invitation back. But the further up the table you are, the more likely you will come back. That's the way it works. Scott Marsh, last week's Saturday title winner. The first weekly champion of 2021. I'm sure we will see him again at some point. But you won't see him next week because I have in front of me the lineup for next week. And I'm toying with the idea of telling you in this match, but I'm not 100% certain yet. I'm wondering when I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to get it out of the way, I will tell you that, pretty soon, because I want to focus on the darts tonight to see who wins the title, and I'm sure you guys want that too. This one following a bit of a pattern
60.
with the person who throws first. And again, Paul Hogan in the odd numbered leg is the stronger.
97.
I'm sure that was for treble 17, but it must have slipped out of his hand. He will, however, get 2 darts at a double, you think, when he returns to possibly win leg 3. And leg difference will come into play tonight. So Hogan is dreaming of winning better than 4-2 to go top of the table on his own after one match. That narrowly misses.
18.
And he went to bounce it in off that dart. And unfortunately, didn't hit the barrel. This would be Adrian Gray's first ton plus checkout of the week. His biggest checkout, he's hit, is a 98. He's not going to find it.
58.
He's the only person in the finals that has not had a ton plus checkout.
Yeah, in one.
Paul Hogan does find leg 3 and the pattern continues with people holding their throw. Can Hogan mount a charge on the Adrian Gray throw now? Let's see what he can do in leg 4. Highest finishes of the week from our finalists. 120 for Barstow. 122 for Paul Hogan. 98 for Adrian Gray, like I mentioned. 161 for Barrie Bates. He's had more ton plus checkouts than anybody.
95.
But the highest checkout of the week came from Joe Davis in a match where he got 2 ton plus checkouts. He got the 170 and a 130 against Daryl Fitton on Wednesday. Robert Thornton's biggest finish of 118, I'm sure will be under threat tonight as he looks to finish this week as the Group A winner and the weekly title winner. I've been reliably informed that Paul was pushing the shopping trolley this morning at 7:30. So he must be an early riser. And of course, the clocks go forward tonight in the UK So we're going to lose an hour's sleep. Who's going to be sleeping soundly, knowing that they were the best player on Saturday? Adrian doesn't really want to leave 98, but my advice to him is to do it because he's already hit a shot of a 98 to finish a leg this week.
83.
Get the feeling that Hogan is ready to pounce here. He's going to stay upstairs
95.
and just getting that treble 5, I think, makes things just a tiny bit easier. 111 is better than 121. If you're on 121, you might just get a shot at the bull. But with 111, you should get a shot in the outer ring. And that's what he should get now. Oh, he's missed the single though.
Oh, God.
Well, he said those dreaded 2 words. Very similar to, oh no. Adrian wasn't pleased with his last visit, but it will be in the memory bank and banished if this goes in, which it does. A really fine effort from Adrian to stay in touch, and he promises to upset the odds here, because I think a lot of people might have thought that Paul Hogan was the favourite in this one as we go into leg 5. Well, before play began, we had 95 matches this week. The game between Adrian Gray and Robert Thornton in match 5 will be the one where everybody can raise their cricket bat. It will bring up the century for the week. So I'm just doing a little bit of sums. We've had 4 legs in this match, and we had 6 in the last, so that's 10. We've had 538 legs in the Online Darts Live League this week,
60.
involving 13 players. Usually we'd have 12, but of course we had Jamie Caven having to withdraw from yesterday's play in Group B because of a rotator cuff tear.
60.
And Jamie Kelling came in and he eventually won the day. Didn't get beaten at all. He was defeated today
45.
in the Contender Series in Modern Amateur Darts by Richard North, and Jamie Kelling will now face Rob Collins for the Invaders title. Look at Paul Hogan in the background. He is livid with something. Maybe the way he's playing. He's averaging 87.6.
180.
And that is the first 180 of the match for Adrian Gray. He's not sure what's going on.
$45.
I don't think Adrian Gray knows what's going on with Paul. He's looking at the carpet instead of looking at his opponent.
130.
And that's a beautiful visit. Just when Hogan was poised to break in the last leg, he missed a big 11 to give himself a shot at tops.
43.
And since then, Adrian has been the better player. Double 16 for a 14 dart breaker throw.
39.
He has the assurance that he will be back. There's no worse feeling than not knowing what is happening with your darts game.
20.
He's cutting a very despondent figure, and he will feel more so like that if this is hit. Should be a case of when,
Yeah.
and it was a case of when, as Adrian breaks in 17 darts and takes the lead for the very first time, and he will have the opportunity to serve this one out. And if he can win 4-2, he will join Chaz Barstow on the same leg difference and same points after one match. Stephen Pemberton has been in touch on social media just to say he's enjoyed this week's action. Well, I think it's a perfect time after Stephen says that to announce the players for next week. So as Adrian Gray tries to serve this out 4 legs to 2, I can now confirm to you who will take part in Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday from 9:30 in the morning British time. We will have the company of Mike Warburton from Wales.
43.
Drum roll please. We will have former world champion Les Wallace.
95.
Added to that, former UK Open finalist and multiple PDC title winner, Colin Osborne. Added to that, we will have
93.
current European Modern Amateur Darts champion, James Richardson.
180.
As Paul Hogan rediscovers where that treble 20 is, I can also reveal that James Richardson's son, Josh Richardson, will join us on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. And to complete Group A, you will once again see Fallon Sherrick. And I know I've gone through those names quite slowly for effect. So to tell you who's playing
131.
in Group B, I can confirm it is Keelan Kay, Josh McCarthy and Ben Hazel. They will be joined by the bottom 3 players in Group A. As Paul Hogan goes for tops to level things up.
Yeah.
And does so. This game is going to the wire. And we are assured that our first winner of the night, Chaz Barstow, will stay at the top of the table now on leg difference. But who can get the 2 points here? This is a key leg. The last of the players to join us next week will play in Group C, which of course Paul Hogan played in. That's Thursday and Friday night.
180.
And it's night and day between what Hogan was doing 2 legs ago to what he's doing now. He seems to have found it all of a sudden, and it's fantastic.
60.
Apologies that our graphic seems to have frozen.
100.
100 for Paul Hogan. Leaves him on 221. Adrian currently on 441 after scoring 60 with his first 3 darts. A 140 gets him to 301. 80 behind Paul Hogan here. 221. Climbing down.
95.
95 leaves him on 126. And Adrian is 175 behind. Needs to get a 140 to leave a finish. He's in huge trouble here.
43.
And that could signal the end of this match. 126 for Paul Hogan. He's got 88 left with 1 dart.
58.
That leaves 68. Adrian back on 258. Well, look at that. That leaves 78. And Paul Hogan on 68 points will only get 1 match dart to win 4-3. And that one,
36.
I assure you, must have slipped out of his hand. It almost hit the metallic 7. Adrian can steal the points here with 78. 20 for tops, and he will get 1 match dart. For 2 points. Just overshoots it. The line was great. A well-delivered shot, but it didn't dip at the end. And double 16 for Hogan could be found here. Match start number 2 is missed. Match start number 3 is missed. And how much of it can he see?
Yeah, Yeah.
Enough. Well, what an end to that match. Apologies for losing our graphic at that pivotal moment, but we can say that Paul Hogan has won that match by 4 legs to 3 after an edgy, really good encounter in that last leg. Adrian misses 1 match start, but on match start number 4, Paul Hogan gets the points. Let's move into Robert Thornton's first match, and he will take on Barrie Bates. Thank you again for your company here on Saturday night in the United Kingdom or via around the world from wherever you are tuning in from, whether it is your favourite bookmaker site or indeed the Online Darts YouTube channel. Wherever you're tuning in from, please do feel free to get in touch via the Online Darts YouTube chat section or indeed via my Twitter profile, where I may even read your name out if you're lucky and kind. But now we will see the start of the Robert Thornton challenge at around about 10:15 on Saturday night. It's all been about the people from Group C so far, in Barstow and Hogan getting their first 2 points in their first match, costing the graduates of Group B their first 2 points. Can Robert Thornton be stingy as well to Barrie
60.
and confine him to 2 losses in his first 2 matches? Well, Robert was very strong earlier in the week.
60.
I think even he would say that he saved his best darts for Wednesday, where he was undefeated in 5 matches,
100.
scoring 22 180s between Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, and found his way to the top of the table on 24 points via 12 wins and 3 losses in 15 matches over the 3 days of action.
100.
And he will expect to win this tonight. Of that there is no doubt. A lot of people will fancy him as well, and there may be a little bit of money placed on him. And if you have chosen to have a little wager tonight, please do so in a very responsible manner. It is only 18 plus people, and of course be aware of the begambleaware.org website if you do need any further guidance.
87.
I was just about to say it's not inconceivable that Barrie would take the 141.
65.
He has been the best finisher this week. But Robert looking menacing on this 70.
Oh, 50.
And he's well wide and well high of that double 10 in the effort to win the first leg in 6 visits. That makes things really difficult now. 2 perfect darts required. And he got the wrong treble. 59 left. I think he thought he had something else, but it may not matter, and it shouldn't, as Robert goes for double 5 and has early problems on the doubles, very similarly to that of Barstow and Bates in the first match. Double 8,
8 left.
and Barrie is continuing that trend of first leg woes. The focus Thornton back at the hockey with a marker
2.
and finds it but didn't need it. That is a bit of a scratchy first leg, but you'd much rather win those legs than lose them. That is for sure, as Thornton starts his challenge with a first leg win. Well, Robert has not lost to Barrie all week long, and in
45.
researching that fact and remembering that fact, of course, because I have brought you all 6 days of the action this week, I have delved into
100.
the depths of the internet to find out the last time that Barrie Bates defeated Robert Thornton,
125.
and it was on the 20th of June 2009. Robert has somehow squeezed that dart in there for his 23rd maximum of this week.
60.
But Robert has not been defeated by Batesy this week, and hasn't been defeated by him in any match since 2009.
Oh, 81.
12 years ago. Barrie's only beaten Robert twice. He beat him in 2006 in a regional final for the UK Open, back when Barrie was a real heavyweight of PDC darts.
60.
But in June of 2009, Barrie beat him in the last 32 of a Players' Championship in Germany and has not defeated him since. He has lost, from what I can see, their last 6 meetings. Up top, down to 10s for Robert to finish leg 2.
60.
He has had issues down there so far. He's going to have to brush up on those if he's going to challenge the likes of Barstow and Hogan, who have had strong starts.
Oh, 40.
This outer ring has got to be pierced.
1.
And is this time, and it's just a definitive, not got it in one, not got it in one, no, just one, just in one, and that's exactly what he wanted. 2-0 to Robert Thornton. Over the last 12 months, playing this format of darts where the players have to call their own scores and inform us if they've won a leg or not.
80.
It's been interesting to see the different ways that they can communicate with the likes of yourself watching at home
85.
and ourselves working on the production. We've had the likes of Martin Adams and Diogo Portela positively singing their scores. And then we've got Robert Thornton, who just tells you 1. Doesn't tell you what he's hit. He knows you can see it.
Oh, 40.
He just wants to get this game won and wants to win this title this week.
Oh, 1, 2, 1.
And you won't mind that if Barrie fails to get to a finish, because he can inch towards the finish line in leg 3 and
60.
take his time. He might even go 61st here, but chooses not to. 62 and sets up tops
Top.
like I thought he would. A very tidy leg. He is now level with Chaz Barstow on the weekly 180 count, which is 24.
60.
Tops for Thornton for 3-0. And double 10 again. He's not happy with the way he's not hitting his favourite doubles.
Oh, no.
And that is a
35.
bad news visit. Nobody wants to be lumbered on 5 points.
60.
Got to fix this. And then after this, potentially get sharper on the outer ring. Double 1.
3.
Oh, how he wishes he could have said, I've hit it in 3. He only scored 3. And Barrie has not scored double 18 to lead tops.
40.
Double 1 to stop himself feeling mad.
3.
But this time, it's in 3. Not scoring 3, just in 3. So Robert, just tell us in 3 next time, but you just do things the way you want because you are 3-0 up. This is an important game for Robert to start on the right foot. I know the performance isn't perfect.
1, 2, 1.
It's all about the points. And of course that leg difference, which did come into play 7 days ago when Scott Marsh
45.
won the weekly title on leg difference. I get the feeling that it could come down to that again tonight.
100.
The next game between Chaz Barstow and Paul Hogan could be enormous.
60.
They've battled for the last 2 nights and had 1 win apiece. That will be the decider.
81.
But will they be playing that match? Seeing Robert Thornton at the top of the table without losing a leg.
100.
I'll be surprised if that happens, because Robert is 97 behind here.
67.
It's a great last start from Barrie, it has to be said. Gets him to a very fixable number. And he can do what Robert did in the last leg
52.
by going anywhere on the board that he pleases, just to line this up for a shot at the outer ring. 72 left. And
90.
get the feeling that he was going nowhere near that treble. Just hit the 12, hit the 20, line up tops. A professional thing to do. Very well thought out by Barrie Bates, I feel.
120.
And he needs tops for his first leg in this one. Oh, now he needs double 15. And he has messed it up. And could pay the price, the ultimate price, in this match. Robert looking at 94 for a whitewash win. Tops again.
54.
And he has got very, very close with his first match start, but not close enough. Can Barrie find double 10 to stay in the match? And he has handed the opportunity to Robert to get maximum points and maximum leg difference in this one. And he has taken full advantage of the mistakes of Barrie. I'm sure Barrie won't be pleased with that performance. But you feel with 2 defeats out of 2 that he may be out of the race for tonight's title already. As we go into Chaz, Barstow and Paul Hogan facing off after they've both won their first match. Welcome back, and this is the decider between these two gentlemen for the week. The third night in a row that they've played each other. And it has been 1 game all so far. The win for Paul Hogan on Thursday, the win for Bosto yesterday. And this could have a huge bearing on where the weekly title goes. Because we now have 3 players on 2 points after the first 3 matches. And these are 2 of them. Barstow with the slight advantage of winning 4 legs to 2 in his first match against Barrie Bates. So he has a 1-leg jump on Paul Hogan,
83.
who won 4-3 against Adrian Gray. We have just seen a 4-0 whitewash for the Thorn
100.
against Barrie Bates, which puts him at the top of the table currently. He won't be there for very long, because whoever wins this one will return to the summit. Will the 180 hitting of Chaz Barstow be
140.
the separator? 24 for the week. And is playing only his 10th match of the week.
140.
You don't have to be a mathematician to figure out that he's averaging 2.4 180s per match, which is quite impressive
100.
when you break it down. He's first to the finishing zone as well,
68.
and is under a little bit of pressure. He's just got Paul Hogan tapping him on the shoulder. Tops, and
Top
misses
set.
by the fine margin that he was very much used to in his first match. Double 18 for Hogan, loves it up here, but not on this occasion, and misses the break chance.
Game in 1.
Barstow does not stop in his quest. A very quick fire double top to open up with a 16 dart hold of throw in what could be a very pivotal match to find out tonight's champion. I did get through most of the players for next week. I told you about Group A involving Mike Warburton, Les Wallace, Colin Osborne, Josh and James Richardson, and of course Fallon Sherrick. I told you about Ben Hazel, Josh McCarthy and Keelan Kay for Group B, which will be on Thursday and Friday mornings. But I didn't get to tell you who will be playing in Group C, like these gentlemen did this week. We have 3 other players awaiting the other participants in their group,
96.
who will come from 2nd and 3rd spot in Group A after Wednesday. But the players waiting for Thursday and Friday night next week are
60.
Lee Cox, the scholar Matthew Dennant, and Corinne Hammond, the finest player,
140.
finest lady player that Australia has ever produced. The former World Women's Championship finalist. So a lovely mix of players for you next week. And Chris Mason will take the hot seat in commentary and guide you through everything. So get involved.
60.
And I hope you enjoy the action next week as I take a break after a wonderful first week in the chair.
59.
To double his lead, he needs a miss from Hogan on the 136. He wants to leave tops
Top left.
and has done so. That was a very courageous dart. It could have easily found its way into the 45. Can Hogan find a way to double 8? Just pulls it a little wide. And Bosto is looking strong here. Looking to break. That same right hand portion that he found the last time. And double 10 has missed. His doubles tonight have been probably the worst we've seen of him this week. And Paul Hogan really does take advantage of that. If Barstow is going to win this match against Hogan, he's going to have to brush up on those doubles. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. If you do want to win this title tonight, it's fairly simple. Win all 4 matches. And it doesn't matter what anybody else does.
60.
That is still possible for this man, for his opponent,
140.
and for the Thorn. But Adrian Gray and Barrie Bates have got big problems, and you fancy with Barrie losing his first two that maybe it's too much for him this evening after such a battling week.
One, 3, 4.
That is what you call a score halver. 134 to leave 134. Is it going to be 180?
121.
It's going to say 180 to leave 161. He does like a treble for two double tops combination. He did that on the Pro Tour just a matter of a week ago against Gabriel Clemens in a quarter final. He found two of them. A 129 with two double 18s and a 131 with two double tops.
60.
So watch out for shots like that. But this one is just one double top. So many problems on the doubles tonight. He's offering a bonus chance to Hogan, which he's not going to take on this occasion, but I hate to sound like a cracked record, but Chaz really has got to find these doubles a bit sharper,
Came in 3.
and finds it eventually. You can see from the little bits of gesticulation from Chaz that he's not happy with his doubles, and he's getting a bit frustrated, but he has got the lead at 2-1, so look on the bright side. He has been like a robot the last couple of days. He hasn't given a lot away to his opponents at all, but tonight he's been a bit more animated. He has, of course, got different company in the practice room this evening.
180.
And there is his first 180 of the contest. He's got the quarter century of 180s first this week. And it wouldn't shock me if he finishes the week with the most 180s, because he has been the most prolific on the treble 20 of all the players for me.
60.
Even with a doubles percentage of only 20% in this match,
100.
Barstow is still averaging 91.2. So what would his average be if he was sharper on the outer ring?
100.
Scary prospect, as Paul Hogan, with 50% on his doubles to this point, is down at 82 in the average.
100.
Barstow, without a doubt, favourite now for 3-1. But that is a big drag into the 5.
82.
Good save though. Leaves himself a much easier number via that last start treble 19.
140.
Can he finally take a clean kill? It could take a combination just to snap that streak,
59.
but it continues. And he is now 2 from 11. Hogan, who is 50%, should hit this then.
60.
But the big chance has gone. You can sense the tension and the exasperation as Chaz Barstow gets a 2-leg gap and is staking his claim as possibly the favourite alongside Thornton for tonight's title. One more leg and he will revisit the top of the table. Lots of love for Robert Thornton on Twitter tonight. We've got Falkirk COYB31. Free darts on a Saturday night. Thank you for bringing this to us. Robert Thornton, Barmy Army. Okay.
100.
Definitely say that you are a Robert Thornton fan and cheering for him. So good luck to Robert on your behalf, I guess.
24.
Stuart saying, the Prince, Pride of Winchester, go on Chaz Barstow. So people cheering for Chaz as well.
100.
I've also had a nice Text from John Henderson's wife, Veronica. A fabulous lady. She,
99.
I'm sure, is cheering on Robert, John's World Cup partner from 2020. This is better from Hogan.
140.
Could we possibly see a 170 to finish this match? Not quite, but that is a match start missed from Chaz Barstow. It would have been very ironic after all the trouble he's had on the doubles to finish it with a 170. And Hogan misses the 51 to get a shot at the bull himself. This could be a very important result. But again, the outer ring is missed. Can Paul Hogan make him feel worse by hitting the double he's just missed? And he's had problems down there the last couple of legs. Chances have come and gone. Double 4 for Barstow to stay perfect.
Came in 2.
Job done. 4-1 to him. The +3 that's about to go into his leg difference column could make a huge, huge difference as Robert Thornton started his campaign with a 4-0. We will progress to see Adrian Gray against Robert Thornton, and can Thornton stay with Barstow and get to 4 points himself? It's time to raise your cricket bats in the air, everyone, as we have reached the century. This is match number 100 for the week. And if you have watched all of the matches, like I have this week, then I admire your dedication. But if this is the first match you've watched this week, welcome along. Thank you for your company. I don't take for granted how many matches you have watched, just as long as you're watching now. Whether you're watching on your favourite bookmaker site or via the online darts YouTube channel.
180.
Adrian Gray starts with a purpose. With a big punch to that treble 20.
100.
Adrian failed to get a win in his first game via the narrow margin of 4 legs to 3. He was in position to win that match, but lost the last 2 legs to Paul Hogan, who had a nice sprint finish.
91.
Adie Gray and Barrie Bates, currently the only 2 players yet to register a point tonight. And Chaz Barstow has made an early claim for the top spot in winning 2 games from 2 and having a leg difference of +5.
45.
A win here for Thornton by 4 legs to 2 or better, and he will return to the top of the table. Could we see a night
91.
where Thornton wins his first 3 matches, Chaz Barstow wins his first 3 matches, and then we go to game 10, where it is Barstow versus Thornton in a straight shootout, for the weekly title. As opposed to a lot of people, that's the ideal scenario. But there's a lot of darts to be thrown between now and then. Including that 180 from Thornton. Shot at the bull. He hasn't had a great deal of success on the bullseye to finish legs this week. Another 15 for tops.
Oh, 30.
Not far away. It was a fine shot. Just didn't drop enough to give him the first leg. Can Adrian protect on double 16?
2.
He does. It's a lovely shot. A 17 dart hold from Adrian Gray, and he's worked very, very hard this week. He, of course, graduated as Group B winner. Can he be the winner in this game as we go into leg 2? Watching Robert play on Wednesday was a joy. 5 wins from 5. And he had a bounce in his step. He's had some great averages this week as well. Plenty in the 3-figure range. His best of the week, 102.71.
180.
And that is not his last 180. I assure you of that. That's his second of this match. His 26th of the week. He really is doing battle with Chaz Barstow in that area. They've been jostling at the top of the 180 charts all night long.
81.
Well, Robert, that one was actually not the worst dart because you had to hit a 1 at some point. Might as well get it out the way. Now it's just 60 in tops. If you didn't hit the 1, you would have needed to get 61 in tops anyway.
57.
So that may be the most useful one you've ever thrown. Maybe not. But this might be a really useful double 19.
And 3.
And there you have a perfect way to rescue a shot on 100. Just don't hit the 1 to leave 99. If you're going to miss, go to the left. Get the 5, the treble 19, and the double 19. It's 1-all. Been a very good standard in this game so far, it has to be said. Adrian Gray averaging 96. Robert,
83.
a little bit more than that. Only 111. I know we're only 2 legs in, but I've got every entitlement to get carried away.
180.
And it looks like Adrian's getting a bit carried away as well, and I like to see that. He's staying with Thornton in the 180 count in this match. There's 4 in this match so far, 2 from each. And he's not stopping. Options here.
99.
Chooses door number 3. Door number 1 was the 20s. Door number 2 was the 25 in bull. Door number 3, the 19s.
140.
To leave himself 6 darts from 82 to get the lead back. Well, he's low on the 25 again. And he can just line up tops here. There wasn't really a call for the treble 19 there, in my opinion. We saw earlier Barrie Bates just line up the shot
22.
by getting the 2 big singles. And as a consequence of that, Adrian Gray has robbed himself of an extra dart at double to finish this 3rd leg.
100.
Will it be key? He should get 2. Could he have needed the 3rd dart? Well, fair play to him. He didn't need the 3rd dart, and he had 1 spare as well. That's a very fine 60 checkout, and Adrian Gray is causing Robert Thornton problems here by playing exceptionally well. 2-1 to the conqueror. Could be the strongest display we've seen from Adrian this week so far. He's averaging 108
100.
to Robert's 104. 50% on doubles. And if he can maintain this, he might just drag himself into the race for the title.
134.
It will be a hammer blow to the chances of Robert Thornton.
140.
Just had a nice tweet from Nathan Kerr. And what a young player he is. Trust me when I say it, that boy's got some talent.
100.
Said it's been a great week. Maybe see you and Chris commentating together at some point. All the team have done a great job as well. Nice of you to mention that, Nathan. I know the entire team will be
100.
very appreciative of what you've just said. But I can say that because of COVID restrictions, we can only have one commentator at a time. So, unfortunately, you've just got to put up with me or Chris.
140.
Another tidy scoring leg from both here. They're maintaining their 3-figure averages. And Robert is looking for the 161. Bullseye! Oh, look how close that was. That was the shot he took out to get one of 3 double start 9 darters that we've seen at the World Grand Prix. Can 80 find a shot at the ball himself? Yes. Can he get close this time? Well, closer, but not close enough. Best match of the night by a mile, but that is one of the worst darts we've seen tonight. That is 4 points, leaving 21. Double 5?
Oh, I really must count it.
Well, 11 for double 5. I didn't expect him to do that. And Adrian Gray will try and show us how to do 25 the conventional way. This is a big exchange.
Yeah, in 2.
And a very, very positive performance from Adrian Gray. This is the best he's played all week. And all he's got to do now is serve this thing out, because this is special stuff, averaging 105. Robert can't breathe. He may have never hit double 2, going for a single 17 in his career. We've all got tales to tell of strange darts we've thrown. I've had a few myself. But that one will sting.
$58.
This match has been so good that you just want to sit back and enjoy it. But you do get the feeling, the way this match has transpired, that it seems to be there for Adrian to take. He has lost a match from 3-1 up this week against Barrie Bates. And he said after the day that he had on Thursday that it hurt when that happened. I hope that's not going through his mind.
180.
But maybe Robert knows about that match and he thinks that Adrian is there for the taking. Second maximum
134.
for Robert Thornton gives him a great chance of putting things right.
Oh, 122.
One of those numbers that Scottish people say better than everybody else. 122. And Adrian's not going to get the big hurrah finish of the 164. The good news for Robert is that single 2 has left him a 2-darter, which is a lot easier.
58.
It's just a big single for a shot at the outer ring. Gets the 19, positive shot. Double 10 to stay in it.
40.
It's dragged into the 10.
Idiot.
106 for a 4-1 win against Thornton to bolster his chance of winning the title tonight. Double 16. And the chance has gone. Robert left double 5 with 21 for 2 darts on the last leg.
And 1.
This time he gets it in 1 and he inches closer and you can sense that he wants it. You're just hearing the little chirps and the little murmurs of Robert Thornton. He really, really wants to win this tonight. He will not give up. Rab Smith 2 on Twitter has got in touch with a name like Rab. I'm sure you're from Scotland. I apologise if you're not, but he has said it would be great to see some legends playing like Lowe, Bob Anderson, Shane Burgess. Looking forward to seeing Les Wallace, as am I. I will tune in next week.
140.
As for who will play in coming weeks, well, it's not for me to tell. That will be for Chris Mason to tell you next week as to who I will return to cover in week number 4 of the Online Darts Live League. This match is starting to turn again.
57.
And if Adrian Gray does not get a little bit of a foothold with a maximum here, Thornton is going to have the momentum potentially in the last leg of the contest.
100.
The averages have come down to 96
Really?
for Adrian. 103 now for Robert.
40.
Who doesn't score well there. And Adrian is not out of this leg yet. Terrific pressure. A much needed visit. But is it in vain? Bullseye for Thornton.
And 3.
Oh, that's absolutely delightful. And quintessentially Robert Thornton behaviour. 124 on the bull to take us to the brink. And this could signal the end of Adrian's challenge if he doesn't win this leg. If Adrian wins, he will get his first 2 points.
100.
And he can still possibly get 6 points for the night. But if he loses this leg, Chaz Barstow and Robert Thornton will already have 4 points. And that's the best that Adrian could do. And both Robert and Chaz would have 2 more matches. You can't see a way back from that position.
100.
But very sensible, professional behaviour here from Adrian. Getting a minimum of 1 big treble per visit.
7. Robert.
When Robert is in this mood, he's like a jack in a box. There's a lot of chatting going on. And organic behaviour based on what he's just done on the dartboard.
100.
And Adrian does it again with a 3rd consecutive ton. You've got to stay in your own zone. I think Adrian's doing a very good job of that.
100.
That was aggressive from Robert. I really do think he should have gone 19s with the last dart. The 19 leaves 220, which means maximum for 40. But it's out of his hands.
129.
Wanted the treble 19 to leave himself on double 12. Look on the bright side, Adrian. You just got yourself on a 2-darter after 12 in the 7th leg against this guy.
Oh,
And he can't leave a finish. So everything is coming up the conqueror. 2 fat singles for a match dart. Double 6. And he has found a 4-3 victory against Robert Thornton to make things better for Chaz Barstow at the top of the table, but better for him as well, because the destiny of this title tonight is still in his hands if he can keep winning. A big blow for Robert Thornton fans and for him as well. As we go into the next match, which is Barrie Bates against Paul Hogan. Welcome back, and it's 11 o'clock now in the United Kingdom. Differing times across the world, of course, as we will go into springtime overnight here in the UK. The clocks will go forward in the middle of the night, and we will lose an hour's sleep. But who's going to be losing sleep by missing chances in tonight's action? Well, Robert Thornton, I'm sure, is cursing the fact that he lost to Adrian Gray there, but he's lost with 101 average, and Adrian Gray has just put in his performance of the week in beating Robert with a 98 average. His previous best was 90, so he's gone up a good 9% there to beat the Thorn. So well done to Adrian. The league table is starting to bunch up a little bit, and don't forget how important that win for Adrian Gray was for Paul Hogan. It stops 2 people from getting to 4 points. He's currently on 2 from 2 matches and a leg difference of -2. So if he can find a big win here against Barrie Bates like Chaz Barstow did, then maybe, just maybe, he can drag himself back into the race.
99.
I did say that leg difference was going to come into play, and I reiterate that it is most definitely going to happen.
78.
But if Barrie Bates was to win this match, his third of the night of 4, he would then equalise the points tally of Hogan, Gray and Thornton, and Barstow will still be top of the table before he plays against
100.
Adrian Gray next. That's a big match coming up. Double 18 for Barrie for Ton Plus checkout of the week number 9. Oh, he is the king of the Ton Plus checkout this week. Nobody has got close to him in that department, And it's not just the small ones that he's hit. He's had plenty of big ones as well. And he has a 1-0 lead against Paul Hogan here.
59. Well, 40.
Barrie obviously doesn't want to leave this league this week with a whimper. He wants to leave with at least 1 or 2 more wins
62.
after failing to beat Chaz Barstow in game 1. He was bageled by Robert Thornton,
100.
but has started this one with a great deal of positivity. His leg difference of -6 and no points. Beside that, makes for disappointing reading. And you feel his chance of winning tonight is already gone, because 1 more win for Barstow in his next 2 matches, and that will make sure that he can't be caught by Barrie.
101.
There's a difference of 11 in the leg difference, so you would fancy that isn't the case already anyway.
105.
But as far as player of the week is concerned, let's talk about that in the next leg. 154 coming in for Hogan.
93.
Can Bates find the same combination with the last 2 darts of his previous finish? He's got a shot at double 8.
80.
Just missed out. He's now got 11 left. Double 4. And Barrie can find a way to 2-0 here. Can he find a gap? Oh, that's so unfortunate. He gave it such an excellent try. Just couldn't find the gap. Hogan looking for a gap of his own. Might need to shuffle to the right this time. He's doing the cha-cha slide on the hockey, but ultimately he does find it. What a great dart that was from Paul Hogan. 2 blockers, but it doesn't matter when you've got his talent. It is 1 leg all. Well, as far as player of the week is concerned, I'm sure the person who wins tonight will probably get that title. But there have been a lot of highlights.
100.
The games between Colin Monk and Richie Burnett stand out. The individual performances of Richie Burnett. The tenacity and courage of Jamie Caven, playing through a torn rotator cuff as it stands the other day. Don't forget about Jamie Kelling as well, the way he played on Friday. Absolutely sublime 5 matches without defeat. I'll be fascinated to see who you guys think is going to win the weekly title next week. Who will be here this time next week? I've got to think that maybe James Richardson will take some beating. And is he going to bring his European Championship belt from Modern Amateur Darts? If you're watching, James, bring the belt. Because Darryl didn't bring his belt. I want you to put that belt at the back of the room and show it off to everybody. Chance for 2-1 here for Barrie. Single 20. And an open tops.
32.
And he's starting to miss and offer more chances to Crocodile Dundee. You can't afford to do that. Double top.
60.
Things are just getting a bit tired. Looking anyway after that last match we saw. Double 10. And Bates is just a bit too cautious in trying to find that double 10. Double 5.
15.
It's all getting a bit scrappy.
Yeah.
And Bates takes advantage as he eventually finds the red for a 2-1 lead. And things are getting a little bit interesting in our league table. I'm just going to tot the numbers up in a second to see what's possible, but Barrie Bates could act as a spoiler here for Paul Hogan. Paul Hogan's leg difference is -2 right now. He's currently 7 legs behind Chaz Barstow at the top of the table and 2 points. So
140.
I think from here, Hogan's got to find a brace of legs. He's got to find some accuracy if he's going to trouble Chaz Barstow at the top of the table. He can't afford to let Chaz get some distance.
100.
I was disappointed to find out that Chaz was short for Charles.
100.
I was hoping his name was Chadwick. Just sounds remarkably middle class.
$85.
I wonder if those darts that Paul Hogan is throwing have got some age.
140.
I wonder how old they are. I have a feeling that someone might get in touch with me and tell me just how old they are. They look very well seasoned, and I'm not talking about
100.
what they talk about on MasterChef. They look like they've seen a bit of action. And
96.
they're going to see some action here on the 116. Double 18.
98.
He can't mimic what Barrie Bates did in leg 1. Barrie for 3-1 has found double 12, and Paul Hogan's got a lot of problems now because he is 3-1 down. He needs to find 3 straight if he's going to get the 2 points here. This is good news for Chaz Barstow if Paul Hogan loses this match, I assure you. Paul only has 1 match remaining after this. He's already won 1 and lost 1. If he loses another, the best points tally he can get is 4. And to get to that, he would have to beat Robert Thornton if he loses this match.
140.
Barry's showing those fighting qualities that have been so evident this week. Just when you think you can write him off and think that he's done, he comes back and starts causing people problems again.
$91. Yeah, $91.
He's in position here, and Hogan is needing a maximum just to stay in touch. And he manages to find one. He still needs Barrie Bates to miss. Stay where you are, Barrie, I say.
134.
Or you could just do that. What do I know? He's the one who's got the darts, and they're doing the talking.
140.
For me, this would be an upset. But Bates deserves a lot of credit, as he will get 1 match dart,
Yeah.
and that's all he requires. A fine display from Barrie Bates.
Oh,
You have to say that he's not one to get very impressive averages. He's never really averaged in the high 90s or in the hundreds. But here, that was his best performance of the week by about 5%, averaging about 95. So well done to Barrie Bates, who gets his first 2 points of tonight's finals. Chaz Bosto will now go head-to-head with Adrian Gray in a very important match. Welcome to Game 7 of tonight's finals at the Online Darts Live League. And we are very pleased to have your company this evening. Things are about to get very interesting because in the last two matches, the Pigeons have company in the form of cats. Adrian Gray with that 98 average in beating Robert Thornton 4 legs to 3. An absolutely superb display. And we've just seen a best of the week performance from Barrie Bates as well, averaging just short of 95 in beating Paul Hogan 4 legs to 1. So this game here, it means if Barstow wins, he will eliminate Hogan, Gray and Bates from the chance of winning tonight's title. He will be on 6 points and out of reach. But one man could still beat him. His final opponent of the night. The scenario after this match will be very, very clear.
140.
But Adrian Gray, after the way he performed against Robert, he might just fancy it now. If he beats Chaz Barstow here, he will get onto the same points, and I'm sure very close in leg difference. He will be in the race with one game against Barrie Bates to come.
58.
It couldn't possibly be as simple as Chaz Barstow winning this match and beating Robert Thornton being the champion. Could it?
60.
Adrian wearing the monogram on his left chest area, which is the symbol for his clothing brand. He, like Steve Brown, is a very, very busy man.
60.
Has his own carpet fitting business. Has his own clothing brand. He has a young family. Runs a darts academy, usually when things are normal and not COVID related. So he does keep himself very, very busy.
Uh, 58.
He's not pleased with that 58, as you could hear from the groan. Could we see a big out here? Just next door on that shot. Treble 20 leaves 87. That leaves 78.
24 then.
And that leaves double 12. Adrian taking his time. He is probably the slowest player of the 5 this evening. The rest of the field are quite swift. But Adrian will not be rushed. Double 6. For a second he thought that might have caught the corner. Double 3. And miraculously, he is top of the table, but his doubles tonight, it has to be said, we've got to be honest, they have been down on their usual accuracy. Double top for Adrian Gray. Getting an unexpected chance.
Come on.
He's starting to feel a little bit of the early game pressure here. Both on very awkward numbers. Well, this will be a worldy dart. It's being delivered from a different postcode. But he's not able to find it. Double 2. Very good. Not the best leg, but he will take it. Excuse me. Apologies for that. It's been a very long week.
Alright, come on. 57.
My throat has taken a bit of a hammering. The treble 20s and the doubles have taken a bit of a hammering, but at the start of this one, you can sense the pressure. Daniel Barrie has got in touch on Twitter, thanking us for the show all week.
28.
He's excited to watch Corinne Hammond next week. I'm excited for Corinne. She's a great talent.
59.
Apologies to Rabster. As I said, I asked him if he was Scottish, but he's actually Irish. So I apologise for that. You should never presume. You're absolutely right. I remember going up to someone who had a North American accent and I said, "Where are you from in America?" And she said, "I'm Canadian." I never made that mistake again.
60.
Chaz has been very prolific over the last couple of nights, but he seems to be having his worst night of the week so far in the finals, even though he's still got 4 points from 4. Just needs to find a hot streak.
97.
I have had confirmation that Paul Hogan's daughters are about 15 years old. So maybe we can talk more about that in the next match, which we'll see Hogan versus Robert Thornton.
Oh, yeah.
Adrian failing to leave the finish. The 25 would have got him to that finish. I just sense that maybe Chaz is struggling with the rhythm of this game.
78.
It is sometimes quite difficult to get a rhythm against Adrian. And the difference in this performance to the last match,
59.
well, it's night and day.
61.
He is a soft tip specialist, and soft tip players love the bullseye. He has found one. He needs another. He gets another. Double 16. For an absolute rip-roarer. Gotta love that. That is the best finish we'll see tonight. And my throat was a little bit scratchy at the end of the last leg, but after a sip of water, I got to call that shot in. That was absolutely stupendous from Adrian Gray to take a 2-0 lead. Look at the embarrassment at the back of the room. And I mean, because of the way he's played in this match, and then finds a 1-3-2.
40.
I'd like to tell you his average, but I feel almost shy to do so considering that finish. It's not even 70.
59.
In his previous match, it was almost 100. What a strange game darts is sometimes. Feast or famine.
140.
And if Adrian Gray wins this match, we will have 2 players on 4 points. And almost everybody is back in the race. It will make for
1-3-4.
a fantastic finale in our final 3 matches. This is better.
180.
Much better. It's his first 180 of the match in leg number 3. And he's gone from averaging in the 60s to leaving 41 after 9 darts in leg 3. Double top. And
21.
again, on double top, he has found no friends. He must have wired that double easily 12 times tonight already. Sometimes you just can't miss it. Other days, it's just not meant to be.
60.
He still has plenty of time to negotiate this though.
Game into.
And double 5 comes to his aid as he finds a 14 darter to improve that average. But it's not about averages in this one. It's about who gets to 4 first. Adrian is closer, but maybe Chaz is finding something at the right time.
One, three, four.
If Chaz starts to miss that 60, but really does start to find a friend in the 57 downstairs, Adrian could be in trouble.
41.
As his action starts to break down, I think he knows he's quite fortunate to be 2-1 up.
1, 2, 5.
And Chaz is starting to find a little bit of a better, quicker rhythm here. That's much better. Really well delivered.
72.
Until dart 3. Barstow in the chair here.
100.
Throwing with purpose. That's a good ton. All 3 darts thrown with real ferocity.
$57.
Hope you're enjoying the coverage late on a Saturday night. This and 3 matches to go to crown our weekly champion.
92.
And that's a great last start. He's had so many woes on double top. But after watching Chaz for the last couple of days, he will continue to go to tops. And I'll be shocked if he doesn't go 10 for tops. To finally try and get a clean kill in leg 4.
91.
Adrian can't leave a finish. I can see what he was trying to do there. But ultimately, it's 6 starts from here for Chaz.
40.
And more misses on tops and 10s. Maybe the white flag has been waved in this leg. Double 2.
Game in 3.
And he's found it eventually. But it's a strange game to watch, I have to say. I've enjoyed watching Chaz play this week. But he is really, really scrapping here. But scrapping well, winning 2 legs in a row to get the 2-2. Can he put in a burst? If he wins 2 of the next 3 legs,
6.
he will eliminate Paul Hogan from the title race. He will eliminate Adrian Gray from the title race. He will eliminate Barrie Bates. And the only person who can stop him is his last opponent,
60.
the man we call Chocolate, Robert Thornton. This is great stuff.
140.
If I was Chaz Barstow here, what I would do is just play really fast. Don't even think. Adrian thinks every dart. He's got a beautiful technique.
100.
I actually think that his technique now is better than when he was playing in the top 30 in the world in the PDC.
60.
That's just my personal opinion. It's a beautiful action to watch.
100.
More typical Chaz Barstow behaviour as he's starting to butcher that treble 20. The averages are completely irrelevant in this one. The early exchanges ensured that they were not going to be good ones. It's all about what happens from here. 98 left with 2. And he leaves himself on 60. We've had the 1-3-2 with 2 bulls and double 16 from Adrian, but we're not going to get the 1-4-1.
65.
Can't emphasise how important this exchange is. Can he find tops?
Came in 3.
He's found double 10, and I tell you what, that little shuffle to the right, I think, has made all the difference there. Tops has not been a friend, but this occasion, double 10 is. And it's 3 in a row for Chaz Barstow to go in front. Adrian Gray on the brink.
139.
Lose this leg, and you will play for pride in your last game against Batesy.
59.
That will effectively be a dead rubber if Chaz wins this leg or the next. And then the scenario will be as such. If Hogan can win
78.
against Robert Thornton next, after a Chaz Bosto win here, Bosto will be the champion before he plays Thornton.
100.
We did say that it would be quite the scenario if it went down to the last match as a head-to-head. It's still possible,
180.
because Adrian Gray is still kicking like Ian Thorpe in an Olympic pool.
140.
Barstow could not leave a finish from 3-4-2. So Adrian was always going to have 6 darts from here. He's been blowing very hot and cold in this match, but this is a hot leg. Double 16.
72.
I think it's testament to the players as to how well they've played the last couple of legs, as to why their averages are climbing towards 80. Double 16 with a little slider.
Yeah,
In she pops, and Adrian Gray takes us to the limit in this one. It is best of 7, and 7th leg is coming up. So can Adrian Gray survive by serving this out? He's not throwing first, my mistake. It's Chaz who has the throw and is using it perfectly.
135.
Not what Adrian wanted to hear. In this position, standing at the back of the room, you want to hear something like 60 or even 58.
140.
But a tremendous response from the conqueror.
$100.
Can he keep pace? Great second dart. The adjustment
100.
was absolutely sublime. First dart though from Barstow in this last leg of the contest has been absolutely top draw. He's given himself so many chances of big visits. And maybe Adrian Gray's race has run.
22.
That expression tells a story. Chaz doesn't even have to go for the 19s on the 126. Treble 19 or treble 17, depending on what he wants to leave. I'm not going to take for granted what people do anymore. I've seen all sorts this week. I've seen 11 for double 5 on 21. I didn't expect to see that, and that was earlier tonight.
99.
He hasn't played his best, but to remain undefeated in a scrapey, scratchy match, he needs double 16, and that's exactly what he does. He finds his best leg of the contest, a 14 darter, and he's undefeated on 6 points, and he is the main man tonight so far. He can only be stopped by Robert Thornton, who plays Paul Hogan next, and Thornton, if he loses, that means Barstow will be the champ. Match number 8, and it's time to find out if Robert Thornton can keep the race alive. Bosto has remained undefeated after 3 matches. He only has 1 match left. It's against the man at the back of the room with the silver hair in Robert Thornton. If he beats Paul Hogan, we will be assured of a game at the end of the week for the title. But as it stands, Chaz Barstow has 6 points and +6 in his leg difference column. It may have to be a healthy win here for Thornton, but any defeat for Robert, and Chaz is your weekly winner. And he will join Scott Marsh with a win. Thank you to everybody who's been in touch on Twitter this evening. David Payne has been in touch. Shout out for Dano and the MODUS boys watching all week. David, we really appreciate your company. Rob Brereton has got in touch talking about Paul Hogan's darts, saying they're a red dragon dart from years back. They do look particularly old school, and I dig them.
100.
And one of the best Twitter names I've seen in a while in Wally Wonka. Said, brilliant night so far. Great coverage. Thank you very much, Wally. And Pedro Lunas has got in touch as well.
135.
Saying, loving watching the Online Darts League with my friends Eric Shun, Yuri Nata, Mo Lester. Yeah, good joke. Good joke.
4.
There's always one, Pedro, isn't there? There's always one.
60.
96 for Hogan. Well, that's a beautiful dart for double 8.
80.
Another one of those for double 13.
120.
And he gave it one heck of a try. Double 4 for Hogan.
Nice score.
Oh, and that is a wild one. And you have to say for Hogan, it has been a bit of a wild night.
1.
That's all you get from Robert. Just 1. He hits it in 1. And he needs 3 more. So let's go into leg 2.
$45.
Jack's got in touch, one of our regular viewers as well. Thank you for your company, Jack. Yes, my voice is feeling a little fragile, but I know all about that. I remember calling in Peter Wright's World Championship on national radio,
100.
and my voice was in absolute bits. But this is what we do. It's all part of the job.
85.
This is a very Robert Thornton type of situation.
Oh, 41.
Being on the edge of victory, but having to do special things to get there. First things first,
100.
got to beat Paul Hogan. And depending on the margin of victory, if he can get it,
62.
he will then know what he has to do against Chaz. And it has to be said, Chaz is there for the taking. He's not played his best darts tonight. He's been quite fortunate with some of the chances he's had. But there's nothing fortunate about that from Hogan. That's just pure skill.
60.
Always likes to do double 18, does Paul Hogan. He's trying to do exactly the same here, and does. You can sense the importance of this match with the way that Robert is approaching the hockey. He's not playing too fast.
99.
He's trying to give himself a little bit of breathing space at the back of the room before he approaches. But 1-1 is possible,
Yeah.
and 1-1 is what we get. Whenever Paul Hogan is on double 18, you should expect him to hit it. And that's exactly what he's done. We are down to a best of 5 in this one to see if we can keep the race alive.
$125.
140.
Forceful stuff from the Thorn. You get the feeling that he's ready to put the hammer down.
55.
Everything is getting
140.
full pelt now. Back to back 140s from Robert. I think he's had enough of trying to feather these darts through the air.
140.
Great response from Hogan. Gets himself 40 in front. And the quality is starting to shine.
125.
Oh, what a leave after 9 for Thornton, who's looking to hit the front once more. Robert won't believe what's happened tonight. He's played well, but his best game that he played statistically, he lost it with 101 average.
56.
Adrian Gray with a week's best performance to defeat him by 4 legs to 3, and Hogan is looking for a 1-4-3.
91.
How many darts can he use to get this one?
And 2.
In 2, he said it. And Robert Thornton hits the front. He's halfway to the mark that he needs to take out Paul Hogan. Hogan is already out of the race, of course, because of Barstow's position, but Robert is very much alive.
$96.
Thornton averaging 88 in this match. 50% on the doubles, which is an improvement on what we've seen earlier tonight. Just has to do enough and then have enough in the tank to potentially
140.
take out Barstow in the last chance saloon. Imagine playing 104 games of darts in a week, and then the weekly title comes down to one best of 7 match. It's still possible. We will have a match for pride. Adrian Gray against Barrie Bates will play their final match next. But this is Paul Hogan's last bout. And this game is starting to creep away from him.
Oh, 81.
Not a bad visit, especially when Hogan is stranded on 3-4-1.
140.
Is it going to be 3-1 at this visit? That's 12, leaving 74.
Oh, Robert.
That leaves 63. He's getting closer. Well, a 12, an 11, and a 13. Yeah, there's the sequence.
36.
Leaves himself on 50. Can't mess around now. That was a great last start from Hogan. 10 for tops. To be 3-1 ahead.
Oh, 30.
He will be devastated with that third dart. It was begging to be hit that tops after the guide was placed just above the top wire. And Hogan doesn't get a shot at double 18 again. The stats tell us this is hit.
1.
Just 1. That's all you get from Robert. And it's only 1. He is away from getting the 2 points that he needs to keep the race alive. And the way things are going, I think he might just get it. You get the feeling that the adrenaline has just left the body of Paul Hogan now. He's given it a fine try over the last 2.5 nights.
40.
But when it's not your week, it's not your week.
60.
One thing you might not know about Robert Thornton, actually, is that he's only been past his driving test a mere 3 or 4 years.
60.
I remember when he first got his new car, after he passed his test, he said, I can't believe I didn't do this earlier.
100.
He's one of the most enthusiastic drivers I know. And I don't mean the kind of driver that finds a car park on a Saturday night and does donuts.
100.
He just likes to be out on the open road.
Robert.
He's one of those dart players that loves to first name himself. When something doesn't go right, he says his first name. Aaron Monk's like that. He was very much like that last week. And he couldn't get the weekly title. .54 to leave the finish.
94.
And very well done. Could Robert possibly finish this match with the second 170 finish of the week? It was hit by Joe Davis,
96.
and he will possibly be the only person to hit it this week. The end dart of a 170 checkout is not where Paul Hogan's going. He's going to 211s.
62.
And that could be the last dart he throws this week. The Thorn for 4-1. It's a big, big thing he's doing here because he wants to win by 3 and it will get him on the same leg difference as Chaz. 1 dart
And 3.
at his favourite double, and now he has set up a simple task. Well, not simple at all, but simple for us to understand. When he plays Chaz Barstow in the 10th match of the night, it will be a knockout match. The winner will be the winner of the league this week. So, before that, we will have a little precursor with Barrie Bates and Adrian Gray. Without further ado, we will go into match number 9. And it will be the last match of the week for Adrian and for Barrie. Well, nobody has played more matches this week than Barrie Bates. And when you think about the fact that we are playing match number 104 of the week, and we will have a league decider in match number 105. Barrie is playing in his 29th match of the week.
60.
That is what we call a shift. I think Barrie deserves maybe a day or two off darts after the shift he's done this week. It wasn't easy for him on Monday. It wasn't easy for him on Tuesday. He was so much better on Wednesday and Thursday.
140.
But he has put in a titanic shift this week to try and get some form.
85.
He is a walking, talking reason to believe that if you put in the hard work, you will improve. If you don't feel inspired after watching Barrie Bates this week, then there's something wrong with you.
140.
Because I feel very inspired watching him. Nothing comes easy to Barrie.
100.
He has had a lot of injuries over the years, but it doesn't stop him. And it doesn't stop him smiling either.
129.
Will he be smiling after this one? Or will Adrian Gray play the heartbreaker? They are playing for position.
94.
They've both got 2 points. So whoever wins this one will finish on 4.
In 1.
Adrian Gray is looking the favourite for that as he started with a better purpose in this one than he did in the previous match. He's been blowing a bit hot and cold tonight, but so far, so good in this. Nice message from Fraser Gunn on Twitter, one of the nicest people in the darting family. He's always saying nice things and championing very good causes, of which there are some excellent causes out there right now, especially the Keegan Brown darts raffle, which if you don't know anything about, please look into that.
140.
Lots of quite astonishing prizes donated by some of the greatest darts talents on the planet, and it's for a fantastic cause, so please have a look at that. But
95.
Fraser's someone else who does very nice things for other people. Be nice to see you in the future, Fraser, when we get back up to Scotland. That time will come, I'm sure.
100.
Perfect visit from Barrie to leave tops after 4 visits. It's a great response, considering the start from Adrian Gray, and they're both averaging over 100 in this one. The pressure has been lifted. Bates does not complete
20.
in 15 darts. Another chance for a bullseye finish here for Adrian. Of course, he did have that rock and roll 1-3-2 earlier, which is not a bullseye finish, but it almost feels like one, because you've got to get the 2 bullseyes to start it. Double 5,
Yep.
and Barrie Bates does find his way to 1-all after 2 in this one. It isn't for a place at the top, but it doesn't mean they don't want to win it. Who's going to win leg 3 as we go a little bit further into this one? I'm sure there are lots of you out there who have been watching many different sports whilst watching the Online Darts Live League. That's the beautiful thing about technology these days. You can watch all sorts of different things at once. You could have been watching the boxing tonight between Dillian White and Alexander Povetkin. Could be watching the golf from over in Texas, as well as this darting action. You might have been watching the darts this afternoon between Jamie Kelling and Richard North, where Richard North has found his way to a game with the champion from the Invaders, Rob Collins.
60.
And there are many, many things coming up in Modern Amateur Darts, so please check out their Twitter site. And indeed all of their information, which has been released today, because there has been quite a lot of information released. So for more info on Modern Amateur Darts, please follow them on Twitter and on their social networking sites.
99.
This one is going with the throw. Strong leg for Adrian. Strong leg for Barrie. Again, a strong leg for Adrian. Will it take a piece of brilliance or a mistake to snap that streak? Double 16.
Oh,
And I don't think he liked any dart that he threw in that visit. He's not going to be punished.
41.
Just get the feeling that sometimes Adrian gives away too much of his emotions on the oche to his opponent. Double 16 still. And he finds the top corner, gets to the halfway point, and even though he is giving too much away to his opponent, he is giving enough on the dartboard to give himself a 2-1 lead here. Leg 4 coming up. Nobody likes a 66 because it means you've got a treble 20 and 2 treble 1s or a 5 and a 1.
Oh, 60.
I think the arms and the minds are getting a bit tired. It's just clicked over to Sunday morning. So someone will be crowned a weekly champ on Sunday morning. Paul Hogan has finished his campaign and may do so. In fact, will do so at the bottom of the table tonight. So that's a little bit of a surprise. Gray and Bates jostling for middle of the table position.
57.
One of them will finish in 3rd place. One of them will finish in 4th.
96.
Basically, the winner of this one will finish 1 place above. Just for bragging rights. But at least you can go home and say that for the week I finished
58.
in 3rd spot behind Barstow and Robert Thornton, who did, before tonight started, come in as the 2 favourites. I had a chat with Phil Bars at Online Darts, and that's what I said. I said, wouldn't it be fabulous if match 10 turned out to be the decider? Well, that has turned out to be the case. Anybody would think I had a darting crystal ball, but I assure you I don't.
$136.
Not the worst single in the world there, Eddie. Because now you can go for that 18 to lead double 16.
100.
You can't afford to miss it with 2 darts this time. Different double. Different result. 3-1 to Adrian Gray. The winner of Group B is looking good. If he can get 1 more leg, he will finish in 3rd spot. Can he do it 4-1? We're about to find out.
Oh, 80. 85.
Not pleased with 85. But I assure you, at this late hour, 85 is not too bad. It's very difficult playing this late at night. It's not something these players are used to
100.
anymore. There may have come a time where they would have played maybe some Super League darts or some competitions that have run really late at night.
58.
But in the last 12 months, I assure you, it's something of a habit they're not in anymore. This is still a very good leg from Adrian, looking to finish his campaign this week with a very good showing.
60.
And after putting in a 98 average to beat Thornton, he has shown some of his best stuff tonight.
43.
Well, the way he's using his right elbow there, I seriously hope that he hasn't got any sort of an injury. That's the kind of thing that Jamie was doing
99.
a couple of days ago before he tore his rotator cuff. So keep it nice and loose, Adrian, and just get things done and give your arm a rest tomorrow. $118 left. He'll probably go 18s first here because he usually does on 118.
53.
And he will have a match-winning opportunity when he graces the hockey next time in a few seconds.
60.
Barrie's left to finish. You think this might be curtains though? Curtains it could be in 17 darts. And a really fine finish as Adrian Gray seals third spot in the table with a 4-1 victory over Barrie Bates, who's had a very, very tenacious week. Well done to Barrie for all his fighting qualities. Well done to Adrian for getting third spot, but it's all down to this one now. Whoever wins between Chaz, Barstow and Robert Thornton will win. Final game of the week as we go into Sunday morning. It's match number 105 of a very long campaign, and this best of 7 match will tell us who wins week 2. When the draw came out with these two to finish, we tantalised the thought of this being the last match to stipulate who would be the champion. Well, it's what we've got. Possibly 7 legs left of week 2 and 1 man standing. The Thorn has the throw, and can he muster up 4 more winning legs
81.
to win this weekly title? So far tonight, Chaz Barstow has not been defeated.
84.
Any win here, and he will have won 4 games in a row for the 2nd consecutive night.
Oh, 43.
And do that, he'll have only lost 1 match in 3 nights. It would be an incredibly impressive record of 11 wins and 1 defeat in 3 sessions. As for Robert Thornton, before tonight started, he had won 12 and lost 3. So now he has won 14 and lost 4.
180.
That is more like the Chaz Barstow we have seen the last couple of nights. He has been somewhat fortunate to get more chances tonight
44.
than he maybe deserved. But the fact of the matter is, if someone gives you a chance, you have to take it. And he has done so. He's done enough tonight.
60.
All you have to do is be better than the person on the other side of the hockey. And if he starts finding his double tops and his double tens
60.
quicker than he has been earlier on, he may be too strong for Robert. Double 16.
Came in 2.
And it's a fast start for Chaz. That's bad news for Robert, because that is a break of throw, and Chaz starts hitting his doubles like that, and I think there may be only one result from here, but time will tell as we go into leg 2. First leg of the night for Chaz against Barrie Bates. He missed a stack of doubles.
140.
And you can put a number next to that word of stack. There were misses everywhere.
100.
And I think it was instrumental in how many darts he missed in other matches after it.
100.
But maybe he's just sick of missing now and he wants to get the job done. When getting the job done
41.
on Thursday night, he dispatched Joe Davis by 4 legs to 0 at around about this time. And he also beat Colin Monk around about this time last night. So maybe he's a bit of a midnight owl.
40.
There is, of course, a dart player called Midnight in Joe Mernon. Not going to go for the 51 here. Going to try and leave the double.
59.
And doesn't get there. But has plenty of room to breathe.
99.
Single 12 maybe for double top. And double top hasn't worked tonight. Double 16 worked in leg 1. I'm almost flabbergasted that he didn't go 20 for double 16 because double top has not been working. And it's not
91.
working for Robert in this one so far. Double 10.
Came in
And
2.
Chaz is 2-0 up in this. 1 break, 1 hold. And he has plenty of opportunities from here to get the job done. Can there be a fight back from Robert Thornton?
What? 50.
Lots of love for Chaz Barstow on social media
140.
in his quest for this title, as I'm sure there will be for Robert from north of the border. Oh, and that's really unfortunate not to be a 180. Just clattered into the 2 darts already in the 60. Just looking at the delivery of the dart by Chaz, just have a look at the pace of the arm when it comes through. I've just realised how fast it is. It is really quick. There's some real whiz about that forearm delivery.
140.
You get the feeling that if he was a bowler at cricket, he might have been a good spin bowler with the forearm speed that he has.
100.
The 121 is for the double break and the 3-0 lead. Bullseye for that.
25.
He misses it by the smallest of margins. Thornton is forced to take this out. Double 8.
Oh, shakes me.
Misses double 4 as well. And Barstow will feel like it's his time.
Chaz.
And he's reverted to type. Those missed darts from earlier are starting to creep back into the game.
Oh, you
And
did.
Robert Thornton falls short into the 13. We've all done it at one point. But now is not the time for that. And Chaz is getting fortunate as well as being good,
Gaming 2.
and he finds the 3-0 scoreline, he has many a chance from this point to seal an undefeated finals night on 8 points. Can he get it done 4-0? If he does win this leg, or indeed one of the next 4,
68.
he will have won tonight by 4 points. And if he does do that, it doesn't really tell the story. He did play better for me last night and on Thursday. You know what they say in sport though? Winning is a habit, and he's been winning lately.
96.
Winning more than others. Does Robert have one gigantic comeback left in him? We have seen, from my memory, one game this week where someone was 3-0 up and they lost 4-3. That was Diogo Portela against Barrie Bates on Thursday.
140.
He's definitely in charge of this leg, but for how long?
60.
For the time being at least. Can he negotiate 5 and tops?
65.
This is Chaz's first title winning opportunity, and it's at the Della. Bit of a weak dart, that one. Should go 18s here, really. And a very
64.
intelligent switch. Most of the time, you get tops from Robert in 1, but now it's double 15.
And 2.
And he does find it. A somewhat heroic find of 40 points in 2 darts there from Robert, as he gets the first leg of 4, which he needs in a row to somehow get the title for himself. It is a break, so it's 1 break down, another one required, but it's the 2 holes in between, or either side of that break,
81.
that he needs as well. You have to break down these battles into small battles first and let them snowball. The first mini battle has been won by Chaz. Can he remain in front after 6? The answer is yes. He's got a 1 dart lead. No longer.
Oh, Robert, 76.
If he finds a 2 treble visit here, he's going to be on a finish. But it's just starting to
41.
loosen up a little bit here from the man from Winchester. And Robert should sniff an opportunity. Does he have the belief
Oh, that was close. 43.
and the execution to stay in this? Because the game has become a little bit scrappy.
125.
A tremendous recovery shot from Barstow to leave 110. But now he's got company in the finishing zone.
139.
But this is easier than 136, what he had in the last leg. And he doesn't get a match dart though.
36
And
left.
how do you beat dart players? Don't give them a match dart. Don't give him a match dart, Robert.
And 3.
And he does not give him a match dart. He knows the formula. He's 2 down and he's got 2 to go to somehow do this. But this will probably be the hardest leg of the lot as Chaz Barstow does throw first in the penultimate leg. Potentially he will hope it is the final leg. Robert Thornton in the background there, giving it the full substitute behaviour on the touchline at Parkhead.
85.
Or indeed Ibrox, because I'm pretty sure that Robert is a Rangers fan. If I've got that right, I'm going to hear about it in the morning.
99.
Or if I've got it wrong, sir, I'll hear about it in the morning. I've known Robert long enough. I should know who he supports.
140.
Judging by the colour of his darts and his flights and everything, I can't imagine I'm wrong.
100.
He's in position to steal here, but he's got to start finding something on the inner ring.
Oh, 60.
Not able to do so. Chaz still with the throw, but only just. How was that not gone at the 60?
97.
All of a sudden, this game has gone into overdrive. Fast forward. Hyperdrive. Robert just takes a moment. I think that was the right thing to do. Can he find this 135? Bull first. 60 for Bull. Bullseye.
90.
And that was a match-saving opportunity. Barstow with his best chance yet of finishing the job. A 7-7.
Come on.
He's found it. And he is your number
Well
one.
done, Rob.
He
Well
was
played.
given one match dart by Robert Thornton in the end. A fabulous contest and a great fight back attempt by Robert, it has to be said. We went all the way to the wire in match number 105 and number 10 for the evening. But it is Chaz Barstow who is your weekly champion. He joins Scott Marsh and we will have more action for you on Monday morning from 9:30. Chris Mason will be in the hot seat as you see the likes of Mike Warburton, Les Wallace, Colin Osborne, Josh Richardson, James Richardson and Fallon Sherrick. Please feel free to get in touch with us and let us know what you thought of this week's darts. But week 3 starts at 9:30 on the Online Darts YouTube page and via your bookmaker's favourite website. So, join us on Monday. Have a great Sunday and I'll see you soon.